Hey there. I just want to show off this guitar. The first part I'll try to demonstrate the different sounds. And then if you want to stick around, I'll try to talk about how to make something like this. So it looks a little different, right? Maybe not. The main thing I want to talk about is there are two toggle switches. This is a what we call a blade switch. And this is a toggle. You'll see guitars, with different kind of switches on them. But I think this one's a little different from all of that. What I've got is three pickups here. P90, humbucker. In the middle, I've got basically it's a humbucker that fits in a single slot. First time I ever bought one. This was like a $10 pickup, and I'm pretty impressed. Let's see if it lasts. Sometimes cheap stuff sounds really good at first, then later it degrades. But so far, it's really cool. So here's the deal. This switch feeds into this switch. So I think of this as a master switch, but let me explain a little further. With the typical five-way switch, which is this three-way, but you can quite often convert three-ways into five-ways, you'd get first position here, if you want to call it that, this pickup. Next position, which I don't have because this is three-ways. You get these two. Middle position, this pickup. Next position, these two, and then last position, this one. Okay, so it looks like, you got five choices. It's a lot of sounds. And you got to wonder, what about these two? This happens to be my favorite setup, these two, running at the same time. But with the five-way typical setup, I can't get that configuration. So I set this guitar up with the three-way switch where I've got this, and I've got these two, and then I've got this, okay? So that's how I set it up. But then I got to thinking, what am I going to do with that middle pickup? So I feed the output of this blade switch into the toggle switch, and that's the first position. The middle position is going to be everything, which, okay, do the math. There's 7 positions in this setup, 7, because you're using the first one to get to this switch. The middle position here and the middle position here of the 7 is everything, and it's actually the one setup that I don't really care for. I guess there might be some use for it, but too many pickups, I don't know, it's not a good thing. But the 6 different ways all sound really, really good. And that's something I haven't been able to get on my other guitars. So that's why I want to talk about this. Let me go through an example, okay? I'm going to put this in the first position. I'm going to put this in the first position. This is how I tend to think about it. Okay, so what I'm getting here is only this P90 pickup right there, which it's a sound I love. It's very grainy, granular. Granular is a good word. Nice, even sound, okay? Now, I'm only going to change this switch, the second one, put it in the middle. What that's going to do is it's going to give me this and this pickup, this single coil slot with I guess a mini humbucker that fits in a single coil slot. So let me go back again. And then back. I like both both those sounds. I can work with both those sounds. Let me go one position farther on this switch. So now what I'm getting is going to be just this middle pickup. So I've gone from this to these two to this. It's a lot more like popping. I'll go back and do all three. So that cheap $10 pickup is pretty cool. But my favorite sound still has got to be this P90 alone. Got more clarity, but the P90, I don't know, has more, like, I just like this term, granularity. It's more granular. Just toggle the switch, keep this switch in the front. But let's do it another way. Keep this position in the front. Now we're just going to toggle this. So here, only the front pickup. In the middle, I'm going to have these two. A lot more clear, a lot more mid-rangey, because now I've just got this humbucker in the back. So it's not a bad sound too. It has its place, this humbucker. Okay, so let's do another way of thinking about it. Let's put this in the front, put this in the middle, see what happens. And now we're only going to switch this pickup. Okay, so at this point, we've got this and we've got this, these two active together. Still haven't got the bridge set up totally right on this. I think it needs to come up a little bit on one side. But anyway, it's not the point. Okay, so now we've got these two together. We're going to throw this switch, which is going to activate all three of these pickups. It's an okay sound, but it's like my least favorite of the three, okay? Now we're going to throw this switch one more. So now we're going to have these two pickups. So we've got the clarity of this in the middle, and we've got the mid-range of this in the back. Okay, so we went from this to all three. To these two, right? It's confusing a bit. Okay, now, when this switch is in this position, only this pickup is active. So this actually now is doing nothing. That's why there's 7 positions instead of 3 times 3 or whatever it would be. So that switch is doing nothing now. Like I said, it's a single coil without the noise, and it's cheap, and I really dig it. A bit on the bright side, okay? So what I haven't done yet is I haven't even played with my volume or tone knobs. And if I dial this back like halfway, you get rid of some of that brightness. Not quite as much pop. But so aside from just even the switches, you've still got your tone, your volume knob. Now, how I set this thing up, I use the 50 style wiring, which means that as the volume goes down, I still keep some of the brightness, and the volume affects the tone affects the volume. So, I mean, there's all these possibilities there too as well. Now, I'm building other guitars like this with 2 switches. One of them I tried at a 5-way switch. I had 3 humbuckers. These 2 came from the same set, and the others were not. Where is that guitar? I got so many guitars around here. And I didn't even like the sound of those humbuckers to begin with. And the 5-way position was kind of like in phase, out of phase, in phase, out of phase. I don't know. Didn't work out well, but I'm flipping those pickups around, and I think I'm going to go with 3 and 3 instead of 5 and 3. But there's so many possibilities, you know? So let me quickly talk about how I did this. As you can see, the cable comes out the bottom. Not a big surprise at first. A lot of guitars do that, like my Ibanez Geo sitting right over there does that. But this was not that kind of guitar. This is a Fender styled. This was cheap. This body, I think it cost me $15. And I splattered some black paint on the red and sealed it. I actually cut that hole, and cutting a big hole through wood like this is pretty hair raising. And, you know, I like to recess the plate here a little bit. So you can see it's a little flattened off right there. And then I use this cavity where the cable normally would go for the tone knob. Why do I do that? Well, it's just a personal thing. I love to keep this area clear. You can see there's protective plastic I need to take off. It's a little ugly right there. But I mean, I've got 2 more holes here, this one and this one. For expansion, this one I put a little grommet in there. I'll put a grommet in here too. But I could put more stuff in here, like these are basically master tone and volume. Volume and tone. I could put 2 tone knobs, you know, two volume knobs. There's so many different possibilities. But I just like to keep this area clear. Because sometimes when I play, I let my fingers hang down, and they they do this, right? Or this, right? And sometimes I got my fingers in like this, depends on what I'm playing, what style. And I used to, like a lot of guys, I used to bump the volume knob. And the volume knob is so close to the strings because it's easier to do little volume swells. Well, I use a foot pedal for volume swells, okay? Not that I do those anyway, but that's how I would solve that. So I just cut another hole. Your guitar might come with 2 tones in a volume or 2 volumes, and yeah, it might already have holes, right? I cut another hole. I cut things up all the time. And another thing I did was I like to be able to take off this piece, because then I can remove the strings, then I can get this off easy. I don't have to unwind the strings and then risk breaking them and all that crap. So what I do is I loosen my strings, I take this tail piece off, and then I can get to here. Or another way would be to go underneath. But I mean, this was a guitar that had a pocket in the back for a tremolo bar, which I never used. So I actually sealed that up. I made this solid, put a lot of wood in there, made it really tight and solid wood. And so a raised bridge like this is gonna raise some issues. Well, there's advantages too, but a raised bridge, you're gonna have to raise the neck or angle the neck. And so what I did is I put a couple flat shims under, not this guitar, another guitar, which is over there, I can't grab it. I put some flat shims, I raised the neck, raised the bridge, but then I had to raise the pickups. And I got one pickup where it just can't go much higher. It's just the way the legs are holding the cover. I could change that later too. But anyway, that's a whole story in itself. So in this guitar, I decided, okay, I'm not going to raise the neck. I'm going to lower the bridge. So I know it looks pretty ugly, but I cut into the body here so I could put the bridge down into the body. Because like on that Ibanez or that BC Rich imitation, the flat tailpiece, is flush with the body. So I cut, and it's kind of risky because you're cutting wood out of the body. I cut into the body, lowered the bridge so I can keep the neck lower. Because raising the neck, you've now got to get longer screws and the size 8 screws with a size 10 thread. You might know what I'm talking about. I get size 10 screws, but they're going to be longer. And it all can be done. So I tried it both ways on 2 different guitars. And on that other guitar where I raised everything, I'm also going to try this two toggle switch thing. So on this one, I could keep my pickups lower, keep my neck and my bridge lower because I cut into the body. And that's a trip in itself. But then I just put a plate where the jack would go. Got 2 holes here for knobs if I want it. Just have a tone here and a volume here. So all of that allowed me, I guess, or led me into eventually doing this idea, which I think is just cool. Like I said, 6 out of 7 positions I really could use. Like you could set up a song where like, okay, here's your verse, here's your chorus, here's your verse, here's your chorus, here's your lead. Okay, you can do that already on a Gibson, right? But then you can modify this switch for a different song because maybe it requires a different texture from what you're already getting, right? You just get so many more possibilities, and I dig it. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye.